Hey guys, welcome back into the channel for something new that we're going to be doing here for about the next 17 weeks, and that's going through each week's NFL games and predicting our winners here. So this is something where I'm going to want you guys watching to comment down below your opinions and stuff as well, and we'll see who does better just for fun and stuff, just to make the games more interesting to watch. So you got your fantasy football, now you have your picks, so it should be fun. The NFL season starts out, though, tomorrow night with a rematch of last year's Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers taking on the Denver Broncos. This is a matchup between two teams with excellent defenses, two of the better defenses in the league. And when looking at that, I try to figure out which team's more likely to beat the other team's awesome defense. And I look at Carolina's offense. You're getting Kelvin Benjamin back, which is going to be huge. You got Ted Ginn. You got Philly Brown. You got some good receiving options. Greg Olsen at the tight end position, a good offensive line, and Cam Newton. When you look at Denver's offense, you got Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, C.J. Anderson, got the rookie Trevor Siemian, we got the second-year guy, Trevor Siemian, first appearance, so he's basically a rookie. And really, when looking at this game, the thing that I ultimately decided on was the only thing I don't like about Carolina's defense is the two rookie corners. And that's something that I was a bit nervous about. I was like, maybe I should pick Denver. But then I thought about it and it was like, if there's a team that they could play early on in the season that would allow them to get away with having two rookies at corner, it's Denver with their own young quarterback. So I'm going to go with Carolina on the road in this one. Carolina is actually the favorite by a small margin, but I've heard a lot of people picking Denver. Obviously, it's going to be a tough environment for Carolina, but they're obviously coming off last year's Super Bowl loss, have a chip on the shoulder, and I expect Cam Newton to outplay Trevor Siemian, and I expect Carolina's defense to be excellent. So I got Carolina winning on the road. Then you got Green Bay going to Jacksonville to take on a much-improved Jacksonville team, or it looks like they'll be a much-improved team. Guess you can't really say that before they play a game, but in this matchup, I think both teams have good offenses. And I like Jacksonville's secondary with the rookie Jalen Ramsey, with Devon House, Gibson at the safety coming over from Cleveland. I think that Jacksonville does have an improved team, but I'm not a huge fan of the Jacksonville linebacking corps. And I think at the end of the day, you got to go with Aaron Rodgers over Blake Bortles. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers, but I think it will be a close game, and I do expect Jacksonville to be better this year. So next game, we got Buffalo going to Baltimore, a matchup between two teams where I feel like it could go either way. I don't think either team's going to be a contender in the AFC this year. And in these type of matchups where it's hard to know who to pick, a lot of times I just tend to go with the home team. With Baltimore, I am really concerned about that offense. Steve Smith, Mike Wallace is your top receivers. Not real high on those guys. Dennis Pitta, your top tight end, coming back from injury. How will he be? Justin Forsett was just released, now brought back. Joe Flacco coming off an ACL tear. A lot of questions with that Baltimore offense. Buffalo, though, had a terrible offseason with injuries to young guys, and Carlos Williams getting kicked off the team. If you saw my Buffalo preview, I'm not a huge fan of Tyrod Taylor. He had a decent year last year, but I'm not a huge fan. I don't really believe in the guy. And in this matchup, I really don't know who to pick, but I'm going to go with Baltimore because they're at home and because I like the additions of Ronnie Stanley from Notre Dame at left tackle. Marciano's great at the right guard. I just have a feeling that Baltimore might win this game, but I would not be shocked if Buffalo won. And then you got the Chicago Bears going to Houston, take on the Houston Texans. And here's where comes my upset pick, I would say, of the week, and that's the Chicago Bears. I have going to Houston and beating the Houston Texans. It's like, when I look at the Bears, I think the Bears are better offensively than Houston. Cutler, Osweiler, White, Jeffrey, Hopkins, Fuller. Miller against Feder. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. I know they have Garrett Graham, but they have a guy listed above him at tight end. When I look at that, I really do say Chicago's got the better weapons offensively, in my opinion. And I do think Chicago's defense should be much improved. Jarrell Freeman, Danny Trevathan at the linebacker position. I think that's going to help them. Akeem Hicks, Eddie Goldman really looked promising last year at nose tackle. So I like the Bears' defense even in parts. The thing that concerns me is the offensive line. They just added Josh Sitton, Kyle Long. I like the guards, but the tackles concern me a little bit. And that Houston pass rush with Watt, Merciless, Wilfork, Cushing, Clowney, all these guys, that's a bit of concern for me. But if the Bears can protect Jay Cutler and maybe get a little bit of a running game with Langford and Howard and Kadeem Carey, I think the Bears can win this game. But it's all going to come down to the pass rush. If they cannot protect Jay Cutler, then they won't win. But I have a feeling the Bears can pull this one out. They have the weapons offensively. Like with Tyrod Taylor, I'm not a huge fan of Brock Osweiler. I think the Bears are going to go into Houston and surprise them and win this game. And you got Cleveland going to Philly. Not a matchup that I'm really looking forward to other than watching Carson Wentz play. I'm excited to see that. And, of course, RG3 with Cleveland. Philly's at home. I think they got a better offensive team. You got Cleveland had Terrell Pryor listed as one of the starting receivers on the depth chart. So I'm going to go with Philly. I think Carson Wentz has a respectable debut, and I think Philly wins. You got Tampa going to Atlanta. Another game between two pretty much even match teams, but we know Atlanta's always been good in that dome. Matt Ryan, I like him more, and I like Jameis Winston, at least at this point. Julio Jones, I think, is a difference maker offensively. We all know that. Devonta Freeman, another explosive running back. I think Atlanta's better than, at least inside the dome. If this game was in Tampa, I think I'd lean towards Tampa, but being that it's in the dome, I'll give me Atlanta. I think they just got a little more explosiveness on offense than Tampa Bay does. And then you got Minnesota going to Tennessee. Minnesota obviously just lost Teddy Bridgewater for the season. Sean Hill, Sam Bradford, who starts game one? We'll see. I think ultimately it will be Sam Bradford, but we'll see who starts week one. I think regardless, Minnesota's going to win this game. Despite the fact that it's on the road, I love that defense. A lot of people don't remember. They won the division last year, not the Packers. So Minnesota's stout defensively. They got a great running back in Adrian Peterson, Stephon Diggs, Laquan Treadwell, Charles Johnson, good offensive weapons. I think Kyle Rudolph, the tight end position, is also good. I think Minnesota goes into Tennessee and wins, but I would not be surprised if it's a close game. Maybe Marcus Mariota makes a few plays. Maybe Tennessee stays in, but I think Minnesota ultimately will win. Then you got a game that I'm really excited about. I think one of the better games of the week, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals heading to New York to take on the Jets. This will be a close game. I think that all of us can agree on that. And I've seen a lot of people picking Cincinnati. I'm not a huge fan of Fitzpatrick or Dalton, but I like the Jets' offensive weapons with Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall, and now adding Matt Forte. I like their offensive line as well. I think that this is a game that's going to be back and forth, and I'm going to go with the Jets. They're a bit of a home underdog, and that's a really good offensive core with Marshall, Decker, Forte. That's a hell of an offensive unit and a great offensive line to boot, or at least I shouldn't say a great offensive line, but I think they have a fairly good offensive line, I guess is what you should say. Nick Mangold's obviously getting older. He's not as good as he once was, but I think the Jets are going to win this one. But, again, it'll be close. Then we got Oakland going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Drew Brees coming in on a contract extension, it looks like. New Orleans wasn't obviously as good at home last year as they've been in the past. A lot of people are picking Oakland. But I'm going to go with New Orleans. Again, I like their offensive weapons. I like Coby Fleener at tight end. I like Drew Brees. I like Brandon Cooks. I just think that this is a game where I think people are a little bit overrating Oakland. I do like their receivers with Cooper and Crabtree and Latavius Murray, but I'm not a huge fan of that Oakland defense, and I think in the Dome, opening week, Drew Brees knows they're coming off a bad year as far as the team and how they played at home. I got New Orleans winning this one. And you got San Diego heading to Kansas City. Jamal Charles, I don't think is going to play. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think he is. At least last time I looked, I don't think he was going to play, coming off the injury last year. But you got to go with the Chiefs in this one. I mean, they're the better team. They got a really good defense, like Marcus Peters at corner, Tom Bahadli on the defensive line. They're just a better team. Travis Kelce. Phillip Rivers didn't have a great year last year. The Chargers are, in my opinion, definitely on the downwards, on a downward spiral. And I think the Chiefs will win this game with defense. They're an Arrowhead always being a tough place to play. Nothing's going to sell me that the Chargers win this game. Then you got Miami heading to Seattle. Give me Seattle. I think we all know why. The Legion of Boom, the secondary, the defense, I think is going to be too much for Ryan Tannehill in week one. Then you got Detroit going to Indianapolis or in a game where I've seen a lot of people picking Detroit. I'm going to go with Indy. I think Andrew Luck, didn't have the year that, as far as, his growth as a quarterback in the National Football League, he didn't have the type of year that I'm sure he would have liked. I don't really like the Colts as far as the depth of their team, particularly at receiver. You got Hilton, you got Moncrief, but I don't really trust a whole lot after that. Frank Gore's obviously getting up there in age, so I'm going to pick the Colts in this one, but I'm not real high on them. It just shows that I'm not real high on Detroit either, but this is a game I do think will be a good game to watch. And give me the Colts at home. And you got the Giants taking on the Cowboys in a game where the Cowboys are going to throw out a lot of youth on the offensive side of the ball with Dak Prescott, the rookie, starting at QB, Ezekiel Elliott starting as a rookie at the running back position. But that Dallas offensive line is great, and we all know that. And it just seems like Dallas is, in my opinion, this is just me, I think Dak Prescott is someone that I think can handle it. I mean, I know there's a lot of quarterbacks I've said in this video I'm not high on. I am high on Dak Prescott. I think he has some good potential, can run the ball. He's got a great offensive line. He's got Dez Bryant. He's got Jason Witten. He's got Terrence Williams. He's got some good playmakers outside of him, not mentioning Darren McFadden and Ezekiel Elliott. With the Giants, their defense was absolutely horrible last year. I don't like their defense in any way. And I do like the receiving core with Victor Cruz and Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham Jr. But in this matchup, give me the Cowboys and their offensive line at home. I know they're a young team. I expect there to be some growing pains as the season goes on, but give me the Cowboys here in Week 1. And then you got the New England Patriots heading to Arizona for Sunday Night Football. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get a chance to shine, and I think that ultimately he will be a good replacer of Tom Brady down the road. But I think opening night against Patrick Peterson, against Tyrann Mathieu, against that Arizona defense, Chandler Jones now to Arizona from New England. Give me the Cardinals. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Carson Palmer when it gets to those big games, but in this regular season Week 1 matchup, give me the Cardinals. But I expect Garoppolo, I expect him to have some growing pains as well, but I think that with Bill Belichick, running the team for him, I think that Garoppolo can handle it. I think ultimately they could go 3-1, but I expect this to be their one loss. Give me the Cardinals. Hopefully that game's close, though. I'm a Patriots fan. I hope to see the Patriots keep that game close. Then we have our 2 Monday night games. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Washington to take on the Redskins. Redskins won the East last year, but I'm not a huge believer in them. Give me the Steelers on the road. No Le'Veon Bell, but I still like that offense with Roethlisberger, D'Angelo Williams, Antonio Brown. I actually do like Kirk Cousins, but I have a lot of questions outside of him on this Washington team. And I think Pittsburgh's going to have one of the best offenses in the league, particularly when Le'Veon Bell comes back. So give me the Steelers. And then we got the last game. We got the LA Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Chip Kelly comes to San Francisco, but I don't think outside of that, that's it. Chip Kelly came to San Francisco. Okay? LA wins. I don't believe in Chip Kelly. His whole experiment in Philly didn't work. It ended up being a disaster, and he's going to have to show something different before I believe anything will work in San Fran. So give me LA. Todd Gurley, I'm sure, will have a massive game, and I'm happy to see the Rams leave St. Louis and come to Los Angeles. I think it just felt weird to me always having the NFL without an LA team. So all in all, in Week 1, I got 10 home teams and 6 road teams winning. Comment down below on the games you agree with, the games you don't agree with. But NFL's one of the best times of the year, and to have it starting back up, it's certainly exciting. And this is a new channel. This is the first time I've done something like this. It's honestly just for fun. If you agree with the picks, let me know, though. If you don't, also let me know. And subscribe to the channel, like the video. It's the first one, so I'll try to get better at them. But we'll see how the predictions go, guys. Thanks for checking in. I'm out.